Common Council workshop session for December 19th, 2017 at 5 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
He's here, but he's outside at the moment.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilmember Shishkawa.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Wishes.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you going to make a moment of silence?
At the meeting.
Yeah.
Since this is a workshop session, we'll skip over certification of the prior meetings. We'll skip over reading of the privilege of the floor regulations. We'll skip over privilege of the floor. And we'll start with communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor, anything?
Nothing. I just want to acknowledge Councilman Gonzalez and Councilwoman Chikawa for the time that they put in. We're losing our two senior council members, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with both of you. And I just wanted to acknowledge it today.
Number 6, communications from the public and petitions.
Notice of claim from Evelyn Hernandez Ruiz for alleged damages to her vehicle when a city of Dunkirk plow truck backed into her parked vehicle.
I'm going to make a motion to refer this to the law department. Need a first. Councilman Bamanto. Second by Councilman Gonzalez. Number 7, reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Mr. Gonzalez, anything you'd like to share? Mr. Romano? Ms. Shikawa?
No.
Any department heads, anything they'd like to share?
I
Yes.
just wanted Matt Burke, our CDBG administrator, to say a few words.
Sure. Some of you just heard this announcement about half an hour ago, but I'm going to repeat it for everyone anyway. We've been working on a draft of our consolidated plan for our CDBG program. It's going to cover the next 3 program years, 2018, 2019, and 2020. This plan is basically a master plan of our CDBG program, outlines community needs, strategies for the coming years. We have a draft that's going to be ready of that plan starting tomorrow. We'll be open for a 30-day comment period. I will send an email out with that plan attached to all the council members. It'll also be available for public review in the clerk's office, in the planning and development office, and on the city website. We would encourage council members and the public to take a look at this plan, share your comments on it. I'm available if there's any questions. Once that 30-day comment period is over at the beginning of February, we'll bring the plan back to council for approval, and then we will look to submit that plan to HUD by February 15th, 2018. Again, if I skipped anything, if anyone has any questions, please just let me know.
Would you like to say that during reports of standing committees, or do you want to give him the floor during your section? Which one?
We'll speak of it during one.
Which one of those, though? Do you want it during yours, or do you want me to acknowledge him during reports of standing committees?
We can do it during mine.
Okay. Here. So if you'd like to repeat all that again during the meeting, that would be great.
You're going to know it by heart by that point.
Sorry, that's not Randy.
Any other department heads? No unfinished business, pre-file resolutions.
118, resolution authorizing shared services agreement extension, police services, town of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, number 119.
Resolution for extra valve change order for wastewater treatment plant improvements, phase 3 under 2009 consent order.
Any discussion, council?
I just have a question.
Councilwoman Shikawa?
It says not to exceed $84,300. This is in the contingency, correct? It says,
Mayor?
Yes.
this is included in the $2 million?
It's
Grant.
within budget,
Okay,
according to what Randy said.
all right.
Any further discussion? Number 120.
120, resolution for valve pipe change order for wastewater treatment plant installation of replacement bar screen and grit removal system.
Any discussion, council? Same question? No?
No, that was, I knew we were getting that.
Seeing none, 121.
Resolution accepting application for water and sewer services for the Hampton Inn Hotel in the town of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Councilwoman Chikawa?
Is this a new build that they're doing out there? Where are they putting a Hampton in? I'm trying to envision right next to the other Comfort Inn, or?
Right here. I think the other side.
Andy went to the planning board meeting in the town of Dunkirk. Where is it gonna be?
It will be basically behind the Comfort Inn. It's
Behind
the same
it.
owner of
Okay.
the Comfort Inn.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, 122.
A resolution to declare lead agency status.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none. Moving on to number 10, new business. No new business. Motion to adjourn workshop session.
So moved.
Councilwoman Chikawa with the first, Councilman Gonzalez with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez. Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Bush.
Aye. Workshop adjourned at 5:08.
No, that was my
You
original.
guys wanna do like a serial swing for your last one? You got the first, you got the second, adjournment for the last one? I'm getting that. You two guys. Chief. For inauguration, okay, I've already told Mike and with Sean.
It's right
Do
in.
you guys want paper, since it's not a mayoral inauguration, it's not gonna be a big inauguration. Do you guys want paper invitations for the people you're gonna invite, or do you just wanna invite them?
When are we doing it now?
12 o'clock Monday is the inauguration, and then a council meeting on Tuesday. Do you want paper invites, because we gotta order them tomorrow?
I don't need paper invites.
What's that?
I don't need paper invites.
No? Sorry.
No, I said I didn't need it.
Oh, I thought you said you did, I'm sorry, okay. And then as far as an after party goes, again, since it's not a mayoral inauguration, we're not gonna have that big thing down there. In previous years, what they've done is they've had just refreshments here, like hors d'oeuvre type stuff inside this room. Is everybody legit with that? Following?
What kind of refreshments?
Not the kind that me and you are both.
Can we have the concert?
Can you have what?
Andy, is it gonna be open? Can we do that at the Fillmore instead?
Ew. Yeah.
It's just open, right? New Year's? That was gonna be in. New Year's Day. There'll be somewhere to go. Yeah. I still have chips for the Fillmore. Okay. And Andy. Smart man. You have learned something. She just asked Stacy.
I think that's the way we do it anyway. We did it last time.
Ed, well, are we, is the council meeting
Yes.
That's okay, that's okay.
And it will be in the other chamber at 5:30.
Yes, believe me, I've seen this stuff everywhere.
All mine are like, you know.
Uh-oh, you in trouble already?
Yeah, I'm already proposing things. So, Saturday we had a travel advisory, and it's really hard for people to find these things out. Gowanda and Hamburg use something called Code Red. It's an application that is, the department heads and or the mayor would have that if they
want to get through what.
Call to order the Common Council meeting for December 19th, 2017 at 5:30 PM. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilmember Shikawa.
Here.
Councilmember at large Bawishin.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everyone can please remain standing for a moment, Mayor Rosas has requested a moment of silence in honor of former City of Dunkirk Mayor Richard Fry. Thank you. Certification of the prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, November 21st, 2017 was presented to the mayor on Thursday, November 30th, 2017, along with the meeting for Tuesday, December 5th was presented on Wednesday, December 13th pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter. All items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and seal of the City of Dunkirk to this 19th day of December 2017.
Motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes. Councilman Gonzalez with the first. Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Shikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at large Bawishin.
Aye. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case the individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large Bawishin shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste or are slanderous or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified above shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time has expired.
Privilege of the floor is now open. If anybody wishes to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Jen Delgado. I live at 65 Lakeshore Drive East, Dunkirk, New York, 14048. I just want to speak on behalf of the effort that's been going on at 338 Central Avenue. I want to thank Nilsa and Jayshla, who are volunteer interpreters from the Hispanic Community Council, who has stepped in and helped us with translating to get people off to jobs, services in the area, looking for apartments, just about anything that you could possibly imagine. These girls have volunteered their time to help us do. Also, many members of Revitalize Dunkirk have donated lots of items to our group, well, our effort. We also have, it was Pride Alliance, which is actually from the Fredonia College. They're a group of kids who, they actually, every semester do a clothing run. And when they were done donating to the people in the college, they took the excess amount and returned or gave it to us. Also, there's a lot of community members. There's a lot of churches. There was an overwhelming response. If I had to list them all, it'd probably take me 20 minutes, and I don't want to do that. But thanks to the overwhelming response, we've been able to help many families in the area. We've helped assist many people in finding jobs, finding apartments, and everything like that. Also, in another regard, I believe I read in the newspaper, I want to say it was Saturday, and I just want to, I'm concerned about the proposed change of schooling in the neighborhood. From my understanding, they're proposing to change the schools around so that pre-K to second grade are in 2 schools, and then 3rd and 4th are in 2 schools, and then moving the 5th grade to the middle school. My only concern with this is that we've all raised our kids in neighborhood school type environments where if your sister goes to school, you go with your sister, which also helps for safety when there's multiple kids in one family going places. I also feel that this would also cause more of a budget issue for the schooling transportation, because instead of going to per said schools, now you'll have possibly multiple members from the same household going to different schools. And another concern I have is that I don't feel really that a 5th grader is ready to be in place in a school with 7th and 8th graders due to size and mentality of the difference that goes on there. And we already have a hard time squeezing our schools into the middle school as it is. And I don't feel that adding an additional grade into the middle school would benefit anything from that. So I feel that some of those things might be counterproductive. So I'm just hoping that sometime we can address that as a city maybe.
Okay.
And that is about it. Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work, Jeanette.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address. Last opportunity. Anybody wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address. Seeing none, privilege of the floor is closed. Communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages.
I just have one quick announcement. It's in reference to our rec center, which is now going to be open. There's plenty of activities that are going to be going on there. A couple of the new activities are on Saturday nights. The first Saturday of the month, there's going to be movie night with our big screen there, and we're going to be advertising this on the Observer as well as our website and our local Access 12 channel. So we just want to get the word out there. This, again, has not been done before. This is something new, and we're trying it out. And I'd also like to defer to our CDBG administrator here for some information.
Thank you, Mayor. Many of you have heard this announcement for, this will be the 2nd or 3rd time tonight, so bear with me. We've been working on a draft of our CDBG consolidated plan, which is basically kind of the master plan for a CDBG program. It outlines community needs. It outlines kind of our strategy for the program for the coming years. That draft will be available for public review starting tomorrow. It'll be open for a 30-day comment period. Copies of the plan will be available in the clerk's office, in the planning and development office, as well as online for the public's review. As I said, I will email a copy of the plan to council members for your review. We will be holding a public hearing on January 8th in the mayor's conference room from 5:30 to 7, where the plan will be available and folks can come and make comments on the plan. That plan, the consolidated plan, also contains the 2018 action plan, which outlines kind of the programs that we're looking to fund in the coming program year as well. So again, that plan is open for review. Please feel free to share your comments. I'm available if anyone has questions about the plan. We will return a final draft of the plan to council in early February and submit it to HUD for approval from them by February 15th. And I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Matt, again. Anything else, Mayor?
That's it, thank you.
Communications from the public and petitions.
Notice of claim from Evelyn Hernandez Ruiz for alleged damages to her vehicle when a city Dunkirk plow truck backed into her parked vehicle.
A motion to refer this to the Law Department. Councilman Bomano with the first, Councilman Gonzalez with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilmember Shikawa?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Wishin.
Aye. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilman Williams, the floor is yours.
Just wanted to check with Randy. I heard that we had the state come in and help us with the streets over the weekend. Can you explain what all they did and what happened there?
Sure. For 2 weeks in a row, we had, we were hit with snowstorms that we haven't seen in a couple of years. We're in the lake effect belt, and we were reminded of that 2 weeks in a row. The most recent weekend was worse than the first one. The first one, kind of a shakedown, get everybody ready, and we probably could have done a better job on Saturday. Things were a little bit icy on Saturday. But by Saturday evening, I'm talking about a week prior than this recent, we got things together and things were really good by Sunday. Same thing happened for result-wise this past weekend. But from Friday to Saturday, we got 24 inches of snow in the city of Dunkirk, and I measured it, for a 24-hour period. That's an inch an hour. We can't keep up with that. And we haven't seen snow like that in a long time. And we were, the lake effect belt that usually hangs out around Angola, when you drive the thruway, you usually hit it, and you drive through it, and it's clear. Well, city of Dunkirk got it. And it just was relentless. And the Cattaraugus County, the sheriff declared a advisory and limited driving for the entire county of Cattaraugus. They got hit, Guan got hit pretty bad, Silver Creek got hit pretty bad. Route 5 between Silver Creek and Dunkirk was almost impassable. By the time you got a little bit further toward Casadega, things were a little bit better. They got about a foot. We got twice that. Because we couldn't keep up, and because your employees in the street department did a tremendous job. They worked the entire legal limit of time and gave you everything they could. And the mechanics had prepared all of the equipment to the best of their ability. It was all, and we had new equipment. And so they gave you everything they could. But by the time late in the afternoon, the mayor and I talked, and we compared notes on what streets hadn't been plowed yet. And the mayor felt it was an emergency situation. I agreed. There were some streets that had not been plowed the entire day. And we had to get those opened up. They were what we call the side streets and some of the dead ends. And we had already called the county and the state through our local contacts, and they agreed that they would put their plows down and help us to the best of their ability with existing resources. We had asked them, they weren't allowed, they didn't have anything to spare initially. Additionally, we got calls from other communities for help. We were swamped ourselves, so we had to say politely no. We stuck with ourselves, and so what the mayor did is contact the governor's office. And the governor, through emergency process, John Griffith, the emergency management director of the county, got to some state resources. He said they would be there by 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. He got them there by 7 o'clock in the evening on Saturday afternoon. And they worked all the way, they worked a full 12-hour shift. And I was out there with them. And so were several of our guys. And they opened up, the 4th Ward side streets were terrible by afternoon. 2nd Ward had some terrible streets. 1st Ward had some terrible, every place had some streets that had not been touched. So the state was able to work through the night and open up those streets. They did a tremendous job. We've thanked the emergency I think that we want to turn the adversity that we faced over the weekend, hopefully into an opportunity. A couple of our front end loaders that we use for plowing these narrow streets with alternate parking they have tired engines. They're old and they don't give us the horsepower we need to push the snow anymore. So we want to be able to get plows that can get down the narrow streets. And so perhaps with the mayor essentially declaring an emergency and the governor agreeing and getting us those state assets with drivers for that entire night, we can maybe leverage that into replacing our own equipment for the smaller types of trucks that we need to get down these side streets. So a big thank you, mostly to the people for being patient, and we realize it was hard. There was an advance notice from the weather service, predicting that it was going to be almost impossible driving during the Saturday. They predicted it for the entire county of Chautauqua. Unfortunately, Dunkirk was really the only place that got that visibility you couldn't see, and we had there was one emergency. There was an ambulance that was stuck. We followed that ambulance and with a loader, and we got that person safely to the hospital. So we responded. The interface between the fire department, between the police department, and Public Works was fantastic. Did we succeed in every single way we could? No. Did we? Were there minimal injuries? Yes. Did your staff of the Department of Public Works give you every ounce of work they possibly could? Yes, I thank them. I will stand by my troops. And can we learn a little bit from this and regroup? And I talked to the mayor. I said, every snow thing we're likely going to get from now on, I want to treat it like we're going to war. I want to have more tools. And our engineer is in the audience today. He's mapping it. I really thank the council for calling in the streets that hadn't been done, but you shouldn't have to do that. Don't stop doing that, but we should know plow by plow which streets have been hit. So we're creating maps. We're creating a whole new set of tools to treat these things that we're going to be getting. We kind of relaxed into thinking we're not going to get these big storms again. We are. So we're going to hit them like Norman Schwarzkopf hit the Desert Storm. And we're going to get organized like that with better tools. And we're going to talk to people, councilmen like yourself, who have experience at the county many years. And we're going to talk among ourselves. We had a 40% turnover in the street department. And those young recruits are doing a heck of a job. Are they as good as the 4 people that retired? Not yet, but they will be. Do they have a great enthusiasm and love for the city? Yes. So I stand behind them for that reason.
Okay, thank you. I did talk with Randy, that's why I was a little late getting into the workshop. And we decided that we're gonna keep that on for the DPW committee, and we'll be talking more about that at the DPW committee meeting. And our next DPW committee meeting will be next Wednesday, December 27th, 4 o'clock in the mayor's conference room. And then I would also just like to wish everybody a happy and safe holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Mr. Bomano?
Randy, because of the weather, how was Howard Street project going on?
They worked on Monday and laid everything out. They started to set up their crane, found 3 trees that were in the way. We got those taken down yesterday afternoon. They're going to work they worked all day today. They're going to do that. The H&K Services out of Leon, New York is not going to let any weather stand in their way. They know we want this done. They know the reasons we want this done. You have residents in your ward that the mayor and I feel very sorry for not having been able essentially to get a fire truck down to West Howard Avenue for 10 years. We don't want that to go another 10 minutes. We don't want it to go another 10 days. I feel that the contractor is committed, and the bridge is already made. It's sitting in Buffalo. They're taking out the old one. They're working with Mr. Fred Farms today for a place to dispose of that. So that was all. I haven't been there yet today. Been busy with a couple other things, but I understand they worked all day today, so you should see the old one out of there. and then the new one coming in within the next couple days. I told them before Christmas, I wanna see the old one out of there. And then, and then maybe between Christmas and New Year, we'll get the new one in there. So within the next few weeks, we're gonna be able to have another ribbon cutting and have a fire truck for the first time in 10 years.
So we're still on target with the date.
Absolutely.
And also, I'd like to thank you for all the phone calls and text messages that you received from me over the weekend. And it was several, and I have to say you answered them all, so thank you.
With cooperative effort, and I'd like to thank you, Councilman.
Thanks. Also, I'd like to, both Councilwoman Chikawa and Councilman Gonzalez, thank you for the years you served the city of Dunkirk on council and all the taxpayers, and I appreciate it, and thank you both very much.
Thank you.
And also, everybody have a safe and happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Councilman Bomano. Councilman Gonzalez?
We had our economic development meeting today. It was my last meeting with the economic development, and I want to thank them for all the work that they have done throughout the year. We were brought up today on a synopsis of everything that was accomplished throughout the year and everything that we are working on, or the development department is working on. And it was a very informative plan that we're it's going to continue to flourish throughout the year. And I was very encouraged by all the parks that will be having actually a grand opening this spring due to the efforts of this economic development meeting. I'd like to thank the development personnel like Rebecca, Edward, Matt, and all those, Hector, and all those involved with economic development. They have done a great job, and I'm very proud of what they're doing, and hope that they continue to do what they have set aside to do, and that all these plans that we have coming up will come to fruition really, really soon. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank the hardworking members of the City Council of Dunkirk. I am honored to have the opportunity to work with such a loyal and dedicated group of individuals, current and past. I can honestly say that I'm proudly served by community with my heart, and I am grateful to be part of the changes that we currently see in our city and those coming in the spring. The community of Dunkirk elected me to this office for 3 consecutive terms. We have proudly accomplished much of this city since being elected to office. A few of the many success accomplished include the completion of the seawall, of course, Lakefront Boulevard, also the completion of our consent orders with the waste treatment plant and so on. There wasn't a call that I did not respond to throughout my 3 terms as council member. I answered all the calls in the best way that I could, and I'm proud to have been able to do that. I also would like to say that we also did, during my term, we settled all the union contracts throughout the city, thanks to the mayor and his efforts and the people that work with him. I am proud that we are on the verge of breaking ground on the Athenix project, and a place will employ almost 1,200 people when it's completed. I am proud to experience firsthand the positive changes our city has had, and I am excited to continue to see the progressive movement for our city. I urge the council members to remain united and pledge to serve the community first before your own personal needs, and honor your oath of office. I ask you that you be present in the community and be sensitive to the demographics, the changes that are happening here. You have the charge to serve all and not just the outspoken few. To serve the citizens that they may not have, those that don't have the courage to speak up, but they are members of our community. Serve the less fortunate who feel they have no voice. I urge you to continue the momentum of moving this city forward, to seek out experiences in other cities and see what's working for them. I thank you all for the wonderful years and memories that I have in this council. I express good luck and Godspeed to all of you. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gonzalez. Councilwoman Shikawa?
You don't want to call me Stash today?
No. Going out with a bang.
Do we have any news yet on the 2016 audit findings that we were supposed to get? I'm very disappointed to know that we're going out and we haven't been able to view the audit yet, which we normally have in September and October. So it makes me feel like there really is something that is being reviewed. Does anybody have anything?
Marcia, would you like to speak on that?
You're speaking of the 2016 audit, right?
Correct.
Right. They're going to be here this Thursday at 4 o'clock to present it at our Finance Committee meeting. I think, this is their first year, so yes, they did really go through it with a fine-tooth comb, which I think is great. But I don't see that, that there's a lot of problems with it, but I think which is very thorough.
Okay.
And they will be presenting that this week.
Okay.
So we look forward to that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
As far as snow removal, I myself got 17 communications via text, calls, and emails, not only from the 4th Ward, but other wards as well. And I was disappointed to see that we weren't doing as what we could, is what I felt. And I don't think it should take the mayor on a weekend to get together with our DPW director. This can't fall on the two of you to be able to be out there doing what needs to be done. Our crews know what needs to be done, and this isn't the first time it's snowed. So the people that called me were frustrated in the fact that we were doing the main streets, which is, we understand doing the main streets first, but in order to get on those main streets, you still have to do the side streets first. They can't get off the side streets to get to those main streets. And it's very frustrating because you had people that still had to go to work, that didn't have that opportunity. A 24-hour facility has places that they have to go. People that needed to get to the hospital that couldn't get down the side streets. And we did get a tremendous amount of snow. I myself know that Lord Street was buried. We were all out trying to help neighbors. We had 2 plows come down, guys trying to help us, and they also got stuck. One was in my driveway. Understandably so, people should have stayed home if possible, but that wasn't a possibility for everybody. So one of the things that we reviewed a couple years ago was the GPS units in all the trucks. That would have told you right away, each one of us would have known, each one of you would have known exactly what streets weren't hit yet. It would have told us that. So I hope going forward in 2018, you guys maybe consider putting those back, putting that back on the table to discuss. I think those units would pay for itself when you have the phone calls coming in saying, yes, I see that it's down Doty Street and it's heading your way now, please be patient. You can take a conversation that is a very negative one. For most of the part, the 17 ones that I got were not friendly calls saying, can you please get to my street? So please reconsider putting those into the units for 2018. I think it would be a tremendous help to know where all of our plows are, as well as other vehicles. But one of the other things that was brought about, and I know we've talked about this several times, is I understand when it's icy and we go out and salt is one thing, but when we're sending the salt truck out and 100 feet behind it is the plow, and the plow is taking everything that was just put down on that street and it's pushing it to the curb, it's a waste of money and it's very ineffective. So I know other communities also do it the way we do it, but I'm hoping that maybe we can move forward and maybe try to find something that works in the middle and at least experiment with other procedures moving forward. I know it's not going to come to an agreement with everybody, but I do think it's worth a try. Having said that, I struggled with the words to say, sitting here tonight, to say a speech like Councilman Gonzalez did. A lot of the things that I have to say, I didn't want to offend anybody, and I didn't want to go out less than classy, so to say. So I'm just going to struggle through my words, and I hope that I say what I need to. This was my 4th term serving on council. I've had the pleasure of working with 3 different administrations, and I've learned that every administration ran things drastically different. So each term, was a new experience for the council members as well. Getting to know what each one expects, working together. I'm happy to have been able to serve the community for 8 years. I not only represented the city of Dunkirk proudly, but effectively, I believe. I answered calls from all wards, not just my own. Whether it was something small that I could help a resident with or something large, like voting on a certain resolution, every single vote that I had, I did with the best interest of the city at heart. We didn't always agree, and that was one of the most frustrating things for me, because sometimes things that seem so simple and black and white to me were not so simple to others, which is where the conflict and the disagreements came in. So I'm just proud that I've been able to be a lot of positive influence, and a lot of the things that happen in the city of Dunkirk I was proud to be a part of. But one of the reasons why I decided not to run again was knowing that things that were broken in the city 8 years ago, some of those things are still broken today. And we talk about them and nothing changes. So if I can't sit here and say that I've been a part of that positive change, I also feel like I'm part of the problem. So it was time for me to walk away and let somebody else have a chance to do what they think they can do. So I'm going to walk away, and those of you who know me well know what I'm going to be doing in my spare time. I'm happy to say that a lot of you I consider friends, and I don't think that will ever change. And I have great respect for each one of you in this room, even though we don't always agree on the topics. So I'd like to say thank you to all the residents and the constituents, and even those who lived outside of the city, who often stopped me to say thank you for the way you voted. I read the article and I understand your frustrations, or thank you for being a voice for the people that aren't here to voice their own opinion. So I'd like to wish Mike and Sean good luck in their term. If there's anything that I can help you with, questions that I can answer along the way, please don't hesitate to call. I do have a large box of stuff for you that I'll be bringing to City Hall on Friday with your name on it, as well as some things for Sean and some stuff for the mayor. So again, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Councilwoman Shikawa. I as well received many communications concerning snow removal over the weekend, but I think that topic is pretty beat right now. We're all pretty aware of what happened and what didn't happen. So I'd like to wish both Councilman Gonzalez and Stash a very peaceful and stress-free retirement.
Thank you.
I shouldn't say retirement. Maybe we'll see either one of you guys back in some capacity in the future. But I want to thank both of you. I've only been on council for 10 years, although I do have a little bit of previous experience in city government. I can honestly say, or did I say 10? Yeah. 2, I'm sorry, 2.
Seems like 10.
2 years, yeah, it seems like 10 already. I'm sorry. Although I've only been on council for 2 years, I can honestly say that I've learned quite a bit in these 2 short years from both of you. So I want to thank you for that, and I wish you both the best going forward in the future. Thank you very much for everything that you guys have done in your years. I appreciate it very much. Moving on, unfinished business, seeing none, pre-filed resolution.
118, resolution authorizing shared services agreement extension, police services, Town of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Shikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Number 119,
Resolution for extra valve change order for wastewater treatment plant improvements, Phase 3 under 2009 consent order.
any discussion, council? Councilwoman Shikawa?
For the record, I'd just like to make sure that the money for this is within the contingencies of the budget.
Certainly is, Councilwoman. And the spread for the bids was $1 million difference. The company that was successful that you awarded a few weeks ago, Candy Company, is also doing the North County Water District. So because they're already mobilized, we saved about $1 million. And the price that they gave us on these valves is about 1/3 of what it would cost if they weren't already mobilized here. So it's a great opportunity. It's unfortunate that the valves that are out there are 100 years old, are broken and have to be replaced, but now's the time to do it. And
Thank you.
Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. 120.
Resolution for valve pipe change order for wastewater treatment plant installation of replacement bar screens and grit removal system.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. 121.
Resolution accepting application for water and sewer service for the Hampton Inn Hotel in the town of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. 122.
Resolution to declare lead agency status.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Seeing no new business, I'd like to ask for a motion for adjournment. Councilwoman Chikawa with the first, and Councilman Gonzalez with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilmember Chikawa.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.